If you don't do your homework and pass your classes, you're gonna grow up and work at McDonald's.
Ever had a teacher tell you something like that? Well, turns out working at McDonald's may not be that bad of an option. In fact, it's pretty downright awesome. How awesome? Keep watching and find out.
I'm Jordana. I've been a college counselor, college admissions rep, and adjunct professor while married into the military. I've lived in New York City, Savannah, Alabama, and even Korea with my husband and 2 baby boys. So that's how I got to be here right now with you, helping you take the next step in your journey towards your future. Hello! Come on in and take a seat on the counseling couch.
Hi, you're watching Journey with Jordana, helping you take the next step in your journey towards your future. Come on in and take a seat on the counseling couch because today we have a very special guest. With me here is Mr. Andrew. He is an owner, get this, owner of McDonald's. Did you even know you could do that? Well, he's here. Thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome, Jordana. Very nice. I like the
I
excitement.
forgot to tell you, this video is not sponsored by McDonald's, but throughout this video, various items from McDonald's menu will flash on the screen. If you collect all of them and write them in the order they appear in the comments, one person will be randomly selected to win a McDonald's gift card. Good luck. Back to our interview.
So, how long have you been an owner?
20 years.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So can you help us understand the difference between being a franchise owner of McDonald's and an owner of Jordana's Jerk Chicken Hut?
Of course. You picture yourself opening up a restaurant or any type of business. You are not known, so it's very difficult for people to really be attracted to what you're doing. It's going to take a lot of work. When you become an owner of McDonald's, McDonald's has been in existence since 1955. It is one of the most recognizable brands in the world. Therefore, the golden arches go up and it draws everyone, especially the kids.
Yes. Like sometimes that's the first thing they know. They're like, McDonald's!
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
About how many McDonald's have you owned?
I started with one in Brooklyn, New York. I built another one, and just before opening, I sold both of them, and I moved upstate New York and I bought 13 all at once.
Wow.
And then 1 year later, I added another one, so I had 14.
Rich. Very rich. Oh my goodness. So you must have a lot of money. How much do you make? Oh no, don't answer that. Hold on. Tell us some burgers maybe. No, okay. Let's just say he can buy a lot of burgers. Okay.
Quite true.
So, all right. That's I'm sure that takes a lot of work. So what's an average day like for you?
An average day for me will vary, but it's not uncommon for me to work a 15-hour day. The thing about it is, while it sounds to be a lot, if you like what you're doing, to you it's not really working. You're accomplishing things and you're enjoying it. So at the end of the day, you don't feel tired in that sense because you like what you're doing.
Right.
So it's not uncommon to put in 15 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours.
Wow.
I don't measure the time. I go and I leave when I'm ready.
So I know you might be thinking about a particular career and you're like, oh, that's going to take a long time to do, whether it be in terms of school, or you might think, oh, I can't do that because, I heard the hours are long. But like you said, if you love what you're doing, time just flies by. So what would you say is the best thing about owning McDonald's?
The best thing about owning a McDonald's is, number one, you like what you're doing. Number two, you are serving a lot of people. The founder of McDonald's, Ray Kroc, once said that we are in the people's business, but we serve hamburgers. So you are interacting with people, you are serving people. As you travel around and you look at McDonald's sign, the golden arches, you will see sometimes it says billions and billions served every day. So you can find a McDonald's just about in any country that you go to, including Cuba.
Oh.
So that's the beautiful thing. It's the interaction with people, and it really keeps you motivated and fired up, and that's wonderful.
And of course, I have to ask, what's the worst thing?
The worst thing is, if you're not careful, you can get stressed out, and if you take it as a job, and then you work too hard. Other than that, if you enjoy what you're doing, that's the best thing. But in any type of endeavor that you embark upon, you must like it.
Right.
And then you will enjoy it.
Right. So you can't just do something just because you're like, ooh, there's an opportunity to make a lot of money. You have to actually love it.
Correct.
Often we talk about how it's important to gain from your experiences an idea of how you're growing personally. Like you want to see what skills are you gaining from, whether it be an internship or a job shadowing opportunity or even summer camp. You want to see how you're developing and be able to articulate that to people, whether it be for an essay or for another interview. Sometimes you have to figure that out yourself, but since he's here, I think we'll just ask him, what transferable skills can you get?
If you talk to a lot of people who are moving up in this world or have made it, so-called, like some people refer to it, they've worked at McDonald's. A classical example, take Jay Leno. Jay Leno worked at McDonald's in his teen years, and he's very proud of it. See, the training you get at McDonald's, regardless of the level that you really start at, is wonderful in the sense that it teaches you discipline, and you could go as far as you'll allow it to take you. The key is not only at McDonald's, but whatever you do, you should have a goal in mind. And the goal in mind is, I'm going to do the best job that I can. So if you have to clean the lobby, you'll be the best lobby cleaner you can. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to deal with customers, be the best that you can, and then everything else will fall into place. I can tell you, as someone who has been in the education business for 24 years as a college professor and college dean, and I've taught courses at the graduate level in management, I have not found courses that can develop people as good and as fast as McDonald's. It is wonderful, and I had to go through the training myself. Although I did not start off in McDonald's as many people from the very bottom and working my way up, I came in at the top, but I still had to go through the training like everybody else. So I had to sweep the floors, I had to clean the bathrooms, I had to pick up trash on the outside, I had to do everything. In order to get the skills necessary to become an owner. Something that most people don't know, McDonald's do have a university. So you go to school, you have different levels that you will, courses that you will take. And then the last one, the final one, is held in Chicago, in Oak Brook, Illinois. It's called Hamburger University. And when you graduate from that school, you get your Bachelor of Hamburgerology degree. How beautiful.
That's cool. If a student was watching right now and they're in college or about to graduate and they're like, oh man, I didn't know about this opportunity, I'd love to do that. And let's say they majored in business management. Would they then go to Hamburger University, or could they just come right in as a manager? Like, what would the process be?
Okay, you can do it in several ways. So if you are a student who just graduated, or even if you have graduated for some time now, whether you have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, you can come in as what we call a manager trainee. Most people think that, well, you can go to school and when you're finished, you come into McDonald's and right away you're a manager and you start working. That's not the way it works. It doesn't matter what degree you have to learn the soft skills. You have to learn the way McDonald's does business. So you come in as a manager trainee, you go through the same steps like everyone else. But if you're motivated, it's a self-directed course. You will have coaches helping you. So you're literally working and at the same time studying. Now, when I studied, most of the work was done by a book. So it's like you have a textbook in college and you have a workbook. You read the textbook, you complete the work in the workbook, and you move on to the next level. That's the way it was. When I started reading the textbook, being on the floor and doing the work practically, then I took a test. If I did well on the test, then I was able to be admitted into a training class for McDonald's to get my first certificate in management. So I had to do that 4 times in order to graduate. Some people, it will take them 5 years to do it, 6 years to do it. I was motivated. I took over a year to do it. In my group, there were people who were executives in IBM and AT&T and these other big organizations, and they were about to change their career. So they came in. So when I went in under a program that was called Registered Applicant. So for someone like me, it's a registered applicant. And you fill out application just like you do for any job, but it involves a lot of financial information to see if you qualify, and also your character and your credit. So that's important. Once you're accepted, then you go through the training. So you can do anything you want with the training that you get.
A lot of students, right now, you're in high school, let's say. What's the furthest and the fastest that you've seen a high school student ascend in the company?
So understand, McDonald's owned restaurants. Right now, they have about 3% of all the restaurants in the US, over 13,000 are owned by McDonald's. One time it was 10%. The others are owned by people like me, franchisees. So people can start and work their way up. You can start as a crew person. Then, if you do well, you can become a crew trainer. Some people call it a crew chief. Then you could become a shift manager. Then you become like a first assistant, a second assistant, even a general manager of the store. Going further, depending on how many stores that particular owner has, you can become a supervisor, where you can supervise 2, 3, 4, or 5 stores. Then, if it's a big organization, you could become what they call the director of operations. And some people will go through that, and they will go through that very quickly. Again, it depends on your inward motivation. So some people can become a store manager in a year and a half, 2 years, or 3 years.
Wow.
Some people could work forever and never become one. It all depends on you. Are you motivated? What do you want to make of yourself? And then, if you outgrow this organization, having gone through all the steps and positions, then you may be able to get a job with McDonald's Corporation as a whole and start moving up. Now, most of the executives of McDonald's went through the process from crew person, what you see people doing in the restaurant when you go through, and became the chief executive officer of McDonald's. So it's only recently the president of McDonald's USA was not someone who went up through the ranks. But prior to that, just about everyone who held that position went up through the ranks to get to that position.
So ideally then, a student could start working at McDonald's in high school and go to college at the same time and just create a career path for themselves so that by the time they graduate, they're just like...
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And that's what a lot of people don't know. The big secret is, even now, there are people who are working at McDonald's, and some of them, English is not their main language. Right now, we'll offer scholarship to them if they want to take English as a second language. Or we teach them in Spanish. They could go and get their GED.
Wow.
And we will pay for it. Not only that, if you are in school now and you are working at a McDonald's, after 90 days, basically 3 months, you can earn a scholarship to help pay for your tuition, upwards of $1,000 a year. This is a great thing, and we're working hard to become the employer of choice for people. Give them a starting point and a springboard to further their career and education at the same time, and it's wonderful.
It sounds like McDonald's is very student friendly. Like there are a lot of opportunities for students. I also heard you mention about how sometimes you even help students who may not speak English. So we have sometimes there's students who are watching, let's say you're watching and you're like, that's really great because for international students you might be able to get scholarships, but you're not eligible for federal aid, you're not eligible for state aid. And so when you think about coming to the US for school, you're like, it's a lot of money. So I know what you're thinking, so I'm gonna hook you up right now. Are there any international opportunities for students?
Okay, so let me deal with one that I have been involved with for 12, 15 years. And this is for students who are currently in their country and they're attending university. Some are about to graduate, some are first year students, or whatever stage they might be between entry level into the university and graduating. They can obtain a visa to come here to work for me.
Oh, wow.
And I brought over a lot of students from China, from different Asian countries, from Russia, from Czechoslovakia, Romania, and all of these places, including Latin America. Brazil, Ecuador, and Chile, and these other places. And it's a wonderful experience. But they come during the summer vacation and they work in what you call the work and travel program. And they are very good employees. Some of them, their English may not be what it should be, but others are pretty good and could speak and have conversation. They come and they learn. And within that short period of time, those who show the potential, we even train them to become shift managers before they go back. And one of the things that I do when they get here, I interview them to find out, well, why did you come to the US? What are you studying at home? And what's your plans? And depending on the plans, depending on the level of English, I will put them in a program and train them. So within a month, they become shift managers and running things. And it's a wonderful experience because they are here to learn the culture. Some of them are here to advance their English skills and also to make money so that they could go back and help their families. They borrow money to come, they could go back and pay it back. So I've learned a lot from them. They have learned a lot from us. We still have a wonderful relationship.
Oh, it's so nice.
And And here's some more info on some other great opportunities. McDonald's offers 4 scholarships through the Ronald McDonald House charities. Each scholarship offers at least $1,000 and they're awarded by your local chapter of your Ronald McDonald House. So you have to apply to your local chapter and live within the geographic borders of that chapter. The first scholarship is the Scholars Program. Now that program is for anyone. Anyone can apply as long as you have a solid academic record. You can show that you have a strong sense of community and you're willing to complete a 4-question essay contest. The other 3 add on additional background requirements. So the first one is the ASER Scholarship, which has a local and a national scholarship, which is why it's a bit more. And it's for anyone who has one parent of Latinx heritage. The next one is the African American Future Achiever Scholarship, and that's for anyone with one parent of Black, Caribbean, or African American heritage. And there's also the Black and Positively Golden Scholarship in partnership with the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. And then lastly, there is the Asia Scholarship, awarded to any student who has one parent with Asian Pacific heritage. And of course, as you know, if you already work at McDonald's, they have a tuition assistance program. Also, I just happened to stop by a local McDonald's in Florida and I saw a sign for hiring managers. And can I just say, Sam's Club membership, cell phone, gym membership, monthly vehicle allowance, computer or tablet device? What? In addition to regular stuff like your 401k retirement plan. But yeah, there are plenty of opportunities at McDonald's. Not selling it, just saying it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching Journey with Jordana. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And if you know somebody who should see this, share. See you soon. Bye.